This is Barely Missing, a Tessa Flint FBI suspense thriller, Book 4, written by Molly Black, read by Caroline. Prologue. Anna's eyelids fluttered open, and a gasp escaped her lips. Everything around her was a blur of shadows and shapes that did not belong to the cosy familiarity of her bedroom. Panic clawed at her chest as she started to realize that this was not her bedroom. The angles were wrong, the lighting too dim. Everything about her surroundings was wrong. So where am I? She tried to call up the memories of her last few hours. Her mind raced through the last memories of locking up her bookstore, the comforting scent of paper and coffee still lingering in her. That was the last thing she remembered. She'd been heading to her car, thinking of which new releases to feature on tomorrow's display, and then... Well, then she wasn't sure. Everything was a blur. She attempted to rise, but her limbs felt impossibly heavy, as if weighed down by bricks. Yet at the same time, it felt like her legs were trying to float away from her body. It was an odd, disorienting feeling. A thin stream of light sliced through the darkness from beneath an unknown door, casting a weak glow on the floor that did little to illuminate her surroundings. But it was the first solid bit of light she could make out among the gloom. She squinted, trying to piece together the room's vague contours, her heart pounding against her ribcage like a drum. The silence of the space was oppressive, only disturbed by a faint ticking sound that seemed to be coming from everywhere and nowhere simultaneously. It gnawed at her already frayed nerves, each tick a reminder of time passing, of moments lost in this unidentified place. Anna strained her ears, hoping to catch some clue, some indicator of where she might be, or who might have brought her here. But the steady tick was all that greeted her, its rhythm growing more maddening with every passing second. As her eyes strained against the gloom, she could discern a ceiling above, low and pressing, suggesting the room was small and confined. The walls appeared to close in on her, suffocating and deadly. Anna's breathing quickened, her shallow breaths doing little to quell the rising tide of dread that seemed to be drowning her heart. The worst part of all was not being able to remember anything. If she at least knew how she'd gotten here, maybe then she could make sense of things. With monumental effort, Anna propped herself onto her elbows. Her head spun as if there was some weird spring inside of her neck rather than the top of her spine. The room remained stubbornly indistinct, details obscured by the lack of light, yet that incessant ticking drilled into her consciousness, a sinister metronome counting down to an event she was unaware of. Tick, tick, tick. It was then that she realized the source of the ticking wasn't just...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?